Hey,
Look who's
Hey
there.
guys,
yeah.
It's been 20 years almost.
it's been
No,
it's been
10, how many?
2006 it was.
16 years.
16 years.
16
That's a
years.
long time, dude.
A long fucking time, man.
That's
Yeah.
a long time.
But we saw each other at Nom Fest right before the pandemic.
Yes, I saw you at the Gus G concert
Right, exactly.
at
And then-
the Whiskey.
right.
That was
Wow,
awesome.
yeah. That was a fun night. That was actually very cool. That was
Yeah.
a pleasure to play that place, the legendary good old
Yeah,
Whiskey.
we got to play it as well on the last tour. We
Cool.
played the Packed Whiskey. That was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
So many great bands have played there before and recorded DVDs and live
Unbelievable.
albums and whatnot.
I was really fortunate to be able to play there. I mean, after all these years, I never played there. That was the only time. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, cool. So let me just give the guys a heads up here in Portuguese to tell them that we're going to later subtitle this. Então, galera, esse, como vocês sabem, é o Dennis Ward. E nós vamos conversar em inglês, mas posteriormente, a gente está ao vivo agora, né? Então, posteriormente, a gente vai legendar esse vídeo e subir novamente no canal do YouTube para vocês que não entendem inglês. E é isso, mas a gente vai bater um papo aqui em inglês, então quem não entender agora entenderá brevemente, certo? So, Dennis, the reason we brought you here tonight is to announce that we're going to work again together.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that?
Fucking finally. So I'm looking real forward to doing that again. I mean, you know, I'm a fan. I love your guys' music. I love you guys. I love your performance all the time. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to doing this. I'm looking forward to hearing the songs. I'm looking forward to really banging shit out in the studio and doing it, you know, for real, like a real band. And like I just said before, not this home recording crap, the real deal. And yeah, doing it old school again. Looking real forward to that.
We are too.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. I'm so happy to see you, man.
It's been a long ass time.
Yeah, all the time, and I mean, we have so many great memories together, you know.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Absolutely. I'm really, really looking forward to the new guys who I haven't worked with yet, you know, and you guys especially.
They're all amazing. They're all
Sorry?
amazing. You're going to love them. They're all amazing musicians, amazing people.
Yes.
We're going
Yes,
to have a great time.
I've seen it. I'm aware of what I got to do with really good people. Well, I met all you guys at the Nom Fest, so I was able to at least get a personal hello from them, you know, and that's cool. So yeah, I'm looking real forward to it. Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember the first time I met you back in 2001. You
Yeah.
were in Brazil playing the End of Century Metal Fest.
Yes, I remember.
Wasn't that it? Was it 2001? Yes.
Something like that. It must have been at least. I mean, probably even earlier.
Was
Yeah.
it with Pink Cream 69?
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you there.
Yeah. I remember
And
that.
then we stayed at Kiko's place. Talking, I mean, about the songs and the pre-production process.
Yeah, I remember Kiko's place. We did all the rehearsing there too.
Yeah, I mean, we stayed like for 2 whole days in there.
Yeah,
showing
we were
the
whole
songs
day.
and very intense.
Yeah, it was really intense. We did some serious work back then. I mean,
Yeah.
we had some real intense pre-production stuff going on back then.
Yeah,
I mean, it was the way we worked. I mean, these days we don't have to do that anymore. You know, we can go online or, you know, make MP3s and send them off, or, you know, just show shit to each other like this. But back then, you know, we had to really bang it out, you know, try shit out and test things and, you know, really go for it. I mean, I remember Felipe, you were really new. The band, really, really young.
Young
No
and raw
facial hair.
and innocent.
Totally innocent, and Angra ruined you now.
Yeah.
Those great times. Really.
Yeah, I
really
learned a lot from all that process. I think I went into Rebirth, one musician, and when I came out, totally different, you know, musician. I learned so much from the experience. I had never worked with a producer before, let alone someone like you know, a bass player, nonetheless. So, yeah, it was life-changing for me, for sure.
Well, with all the records we did, there was always a constant, increase of performability and just workability. I love your guys' work ethic, the way you go to studio and do stuff, and it's important and it's for real. It's not just playing around. okay, well, there were some moments of discussions, but that's all part of it.
It shouldn't be, but it is. Yes.
That's it's kind of, you're an artist, so you got to get your point across, and sometimes it has to be a little emotional, and that's what it takes. That's fine, as long as you get the thing done and everybody's happy. Be an artist is fine.
I remember that during that time, we became very intimate to each other, and
we did who?
it became like part of the band. We started to have we weren't talking only about the music.
No,
we were really considering your opinions on many of the levels, the layers of having a band, because you all had many bands in your career, so it makes a lot of the difference.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are also now working with even more people since then, and I know a couple of guys came and went too, and now you're at this phase, and it seems to be working really well. It looks like you got a really good crew, and the shows that I watch online, because it's all I've been able to watch since you hardly ever come over here. So what I've seen has been really, really kick-ass. I'm looking really forward to working with all you guys again.
Yes, I remember your input on the songs, and one word that stands out for me that I always remember is you said that this is a little too abstract.
Yes.
And there was a lot of that, especially on Temple of Shadows.
Yeah, abstract,
a lot of abstract stuff.
Avant-garde. That's my other word.
Avant-garde.
Yes. That's my nice way of saying weird. It's okay if you want to be avant-garde. It just has to sound cool. Nothing wrong with that, I mean, let's just make the best record. Let's keep the Angra vibes going. Let's keep all that stuff that the fans want to hear in there. I hope you got some good surprises for all the fans.
Sure do.
Too much, the music will do the talking. So
yes, that's what I always say. Yeah,
I haven't heard anything yet, just in case, so everybody knows. I've heard nothing yet. I don't know what to expect. You might be making reggae music now. I have no idea, but that's fine too. As long as there's a distorted guitar in there somewhere, I'm happy.
That's cool. There's lots of distorted guitar, 7 strings sometimes,
and lots of layers.
And
cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Right. We're definitely me and Raphael, who you've worked with before. We're definitely different people, different musicians from what we were back then, of course. And you as well. You have worked with so many people in the meantime. How do you think that changed you as a producer?
Oh man, I was doing a lot of productions and realized, I had a hole in my life, so to say, but I realized I'm doing this too much and I'm getting a little bit stale. And I had to go back and, go back to the roots and, start writing music again, really perform and be a musician again. It was really, really important to me. It was also important to my production skills, because you got to realize how to relate to musicians. It's easy to lose that when you do only productions. You forget that you're dealing with artists, and they have their own opinion and their own emotion to stuff too. And I forgot that a lot of times because I was just into my world of production. Let's just do it and do it good, and fuck the logic. Let's just get this done real well. And sometimes you've got to sit back and be an artist yourself and go, okay, maybe today's not a good day to do what we planned. Maybe we should just do something that's just going to work better at the moment as an artist, and being an artist again, it made me realize this, and so I was real happy to get on tour and, do my Unisonic thing, or with Gus G, we did lots of stuff, bare bones stuff, like sitting in a van, driving all over the US and playing the shittiest clubs I've ever been in my life. Catering was a carrot stick and a glass of water. Great stuff.
Just so you remember that you don't want to be an artist again.
Well, I at one point I was like really sick of it. I got to admit, I was really sick of it. But when I started doing it again, I realized, shit, this is a lot of fun. There's still a lot of fun to it. And then I started playing my instrument again. It started actually rehearsing again, learning my scales and notes and getting really back in. Gus G was a big kick in the ass for me, to be honest, because he's not a shit guitar player.
He's a great player.
Yeah, he is, and he's really into with bass especially. he even has great ideas himself, you know, and sometimes it's hard to keep up with him. And, you know, he plays with the pick and really fast, and he can noodle around like a motherfucker if he wants, you know, and he still looks for a good fundament to support his guitar, which I'm, you know, a fan of as that kind of a bass player. And, you know, he kicked me in the ass to get me to learn shit and do stuff and, you know, really work on my playing. And I'm very thankful for that, because I was really just letting it go. I was just ignoring in the early 2000s. I was really losing it, so to say.
I remember you started traveling without a bass at a point.
Yeah.
You told me right when we started working together that you never traveled with amps or anything. You always had something local or no amp at all. You had a pod, if I remember correctly.
I just had a DI box.
Yeah, even worse. And then at a point you started traveling without a bass even.
Yeah, that was just stupid. That was because I was just trying to be cheap, you know. I don't do that anymore. That's definitely over. I don't use amps anymore, by the way. I use a laptop now.
Yeah, I thought about doing that as well.
Well, I hope I can actually maybe bring my setup and show you what I got going on, because it's pretty kick-ass. And for all you guys, if you use in-ears, like I use in-ears for the last 7 years, I guess, since 2000. Oh God, 2012. Shit. 10 years.
More than 7 years.
God damn. And because of this, I just retired my amp. I was sick of fixing it. I was sick of it. Looks like shit. My amp looks like it's gotten beaten up and thrown off trucks. And
is it still the same one I used back then?
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Love this thing. I'll never get rid of it. Now it's in the studio and it won't move. I won't ever take it on the road again. I don't want it to break. I'm scared of it breaking. It's for me, I mean, it's like 30-year-old amp now, you know. I bought that thing new and I still have it. And now I'm on laptops, and you know, technology is really, really far. And having an in-ear system, and I've got one little case. It's actually right here holding up my laptop. And in the case is a Mac Mini, a little screen, keyboard and stuff, my interface and my wireless and my in-ear and everything, right? And just open it up and go. And I've got like sounds for Magnum, sounds for Gus G, other random sounds. And I just, you know, with a Bluetooth switcher, I just pick my sounds. Yeah, it's fucking great. No cables. Look at this. No cables.
What about the lag?
None. Yeah. It's instant. And I'm using a software called Gig Performer. I don't know if you've heard of it. And it's like a plug-in loader. That's all. It's just a plug-in loader, and it works with any interface. And the latency is, I'm at 2.7 milliseconds. It's like a Kemper. So fuck it, you know.
Actually, I have two things going on. First of all, I'm recording almost everything through the Parallax plugin from Neuro DSP. Have you heard of it?
Yes, very good. Yes.
Yeah, I love it. That's all I use nowadays. Yeah. And Wednesday, I'm traveling to Los Angeles for the NAMM show.
That's all right.
June, and I'm going to bring one Quad Cortex.
Right. Yeah.
Which is an amazing unit, and that's what I'm going to use from now on. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What are you going to bring to the studio?
I don't know. I have the Aguilars, which are great.
They're great. Those are great.
A bunch of pedals, a bunch of basses. So, as people don't know this yet, but we're planning to record in Brazil, so we would bring Dennis for a month. We still haven't decided which studio, but this gives us the ability to just bring our gear into the studio, which is pretty cool.
Which is, yeah, I think it's kind of important, you know. I mean, we did some recordings over here, and we did in Brazil as well. And first of all, there was every now and then there was like a little bit of a technical issue with some of the studios, but that was a long time ago, and I think things have really changed.
For sure.
I'm sure, because I've been to places like Poland, where usually you go there and just think, oh, fucking hell. But now it's like everything's top notch and great gear and everything's amazing. And I think it's important that musicians have their guitars and their things and, you know, their amps and their shit with them. It just, you just feel right, you know? And I feel a lot more safe and a lot better about it. Along with drums. I mean, renting drums, setting up drums, watching the poor drummer put all this shit together, rented shit. Oh God. That's like 2 days thrown away for nothing, you know?
Yes.
So I'm glad we're not doing that. I'm really, really glad.
Rafael has some guitars that he has been using for the last few years since he now is free from endorsements. So some of his great guitars that he used throughout his career, so he can use all of those. That's pretty cool.
All those Yamahas, the Pacifica.
No, I have some Yamahas too, but I have PV, Wolfgang,
Awesome.
the Gibsons, some ESPs.
Right
a lot
on.
of nice guitars.
Right
And
on.
do you remember the tuna box pedal that I brought?
Yeah, of course I did.
I might still have it.
Bring it just to look at it. Hilarious. Awesome.
I will
Great
we have to try it again. Maybe now you've changed. Maybe now he's got a chance. It's got a chance.
I'm gonna bring some pedals that I made too. Some my own tuna cans. I made some little strange, shitty things. Yeah, it was one of my hobbies that I got into about, I don't know, 10 years ago.
I think I saw some stuff on your Facebook or whatever.
I was making some pedals and a lot of microphones. I was on a microphone trip for a long time. I made really like high-end mics because I was just sick of spending money on all this shit that wasn't that great, to be honest. So I started making my own, and in the meantime, I've made a lot of buddies, a lot of good friends, microphones. For example, the new Halloween. All the lead vocals are with microphones that I made.
That's pretty cool.
I made Kiska, I think, Ford microphones in the meantime. I made one for Andy, and it's his main thing. He used to use a U47 or a vintage U47. Now he uses this very cheap mic that I made, and yeah, it suits his voice really, really well. And I'm going to bring some of those too for sure.
That's pretty cool.
I told you I'm going to bring some of my stuff.
Are you selling a few of this?
You know, it's like I was doing it for a while and I was making it for people. I don't want to make a profit. It's always about the time that I have, because it's like it doesn't take long to do the damn things. It takes long to order the fucking parts, because especially right now, because of the world issue that's hard to, you know, it's hard to ship shit right now. But you know, when I got time, I'm always happy to make it just because it's fun for me, you know. And I don't make money off of the shit. There's no way, it's impossible. But it's just fun to do it, and then you got a result at the end, and you know, hey, this is a really good instrument or piece of equipment that somebody can really use to get something out of, you know. And when I hear records where I know that my mics are on, I feel really good about it, because it's like, yeah, a little accomplishment, you know. Just it's a hobby. It's like turned into not a money making thing. It turned into just something to do, something else to do, and it's part of my work too. And I just love doing it.
I was looking through some pictures from the Rebirth recording,
right?
And I saw some pictures that I recorded with your bass, with your Ash bass.
Yes, I remember that.
The bass. Yeah.
Still got it. I got a lot more in the meantime. That's something that's really changed in the last few years. I got endorsed with Sandberg, and I've got 5 Sandberg basses. And I'm a real big, I love jazz basses. So for me, it was like, I fell in love right away. And,
do you still have the Alegria?
Of course I do. I painted it black though. I painted it black, and I threw out the shitty electronics. I was never happy with electronics.
EMG?
Sorry?
It was EMG before?
I kept the pickups, to be honest. They're cheap EMG pickups, but they work, you know, they sound good.
Yeah, they're passive.
Yeah,
I like them better than the active ones, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it had a preamp in it, but I always had issues. It was always making noises or just wouldn't work. So I put in this, you know, Glockenklang?
Yes, the amp manufacturer.
Right. So they got this 3-way preamp, and I just exchanged it, and it went from being a really good sounding bass to being a fucking excellent bass. And it's my main recording bass still. I love my Sandberg. I hope they're not listening to this right now. I love the Sandbergs. I really do. But I got to admit, when I do my metal stuff, I'm almost always using that bass, because it's just got the thump, and it's got this low mid kick that's just fucking awesome. You know, it's
yeah. I remember when I recorded Aurora Consurgence that I used my Alegria on it.
Yeah, that was a great bass.
And you really liked it.
You still got that bass?
I do. Yeah, I got 2 of them. 2 6-string, 1 fretted, 1 fretless. And the fretless one has a wooden bridge.
Yes, I remember that. I think I actually saw that. I saw that one.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. But now you got to deal with Ibanez, right?
Ibanez, yes. That's all I use.
You've got a signature series too, right?
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
No.
I don't know why I thought you did.
I made some custom finishes on some basses.
Okay.
And I even got a double neck bass right now, which is pretty cool.
But you've only got 2 hands, man. What are you going to do? Huh?
Well, you can always play both at the same time.
Oh, okay. That's a really.
You remember songs like Morning Star,
Yeah.
or No Pain for the Dead,
Yeah.
or Passing By, where I have the melody going on a fretless bass, but then the rest of the song.
I see it.
played
Fretless and okay.
So
Now
that's why.
that makes sense. Oh, then awesome. Cool. Bring it to the studio.
I will.
try anything. I don't care. Right on, man. Well, fucking great, man. I'm looking really, really forward to this. I swear, I'm really excited about this. And how far are you guys in the process of demos?
Yeah.
Well, okay. We're on the phase 1, which
Which track is ready?
Phase 1 is when I have only the acoustic with few melodies.
Right.
Looking for choruses, parts for the song itself, not the guitar riffs and etc. But I've showed already Felipe and Bruno this ideas for songs, and we started arranging some of them.
Okay.
There are also few ideas for songs of guitar riffs and stuff that we started together. Me and Felipe started together.
Right.
So what I want, it's we're going on tour in a couple of weeks, right?
Okay.
I want that after the tour in mid of July,
okay,
we can really prepare a demo, trying to arrange the songs. Yeah. No lyrics have been written down yet, but I have some ideas for lyrics. I've been writing stuff. Okay. That will probably be turned into lyrics later on.
Okay.
Well, that's it. I mean, also.
Yeah, but we have 6 or 7 pretty good embryos for songs.
Okay.
You know,
good. I mean,
some pretty cool riffs, but mostly verse, pre-chorus, and chorus. Right. Some ideas for riffs and intros. Stuff that we need to work on still, but with great potential.
All right, cool. Right on. Well, awesome.
Because I can never escape of being a little bit worried about the different kinds of songs that we do. Since the very beginning, we do an epic fest metal song, a classic ballad, Brazilian ideas. So they're kind of there's a kind of a map, which is not unnatural for us because it's very organic for me to go around. These are the kind of ideas that usually I have.
Okay,
but we have added a lot of identity with this lineup. Bruno, the drummer, he's always bringing a lot of different vibes with his drummings. Awesome. Marcelo and Fabio with his voice, also with his ideas for melodies. So I call it phase 1 and 2, so we can leave room for all the other guys to add ideas into it, especially when it comes to arranging. Yes. So we want to have all the different flavors of Angra, but also the identity, the sound that we have nowadays, not copying ourselves.
Yeah,
it's a bit hard to find that balance. So we're trying. I mean, I've been researching a lot, trying to find that balance on those ideas.
Okay. All right. Well, good. At least you got something going on. That's important. It's got to be there before November, right?
Yeah. Hopefully.
You got to have a few songs ready by then.
I don't think we ever went into the studio with 100% of the songs written down. I remember on Temple of Shadows, by the end of the pre-production, you told us we needed another speed song.
Yeah. And
that's when we came up with Spread Your Fire, which ended up opening the record. Yep. So, yeah, this always happens.
Yes, working under pressure is sometimes a good thing. And the last minute, it spawns ideas. It forces you to come up with ideas and be very, very creative because you don't have time to think too much. You just got to do it, right? And I've been in this situation many times in productions. Last what was it? Last summer, actually. I had a band in the studio, and the same deal. They had one song that just turned out to be garbage, and I was like, dude, we've got to get another song. This is just not going to do it for an album. And they sat there, and within 3 days, they had a song that, in my opinion, is the best song on the record. So,
the exact same thing happened with Omni.
yeah.
We had a song that the producer Jens was really not happy about, and he wasn't shy about telling us about it. And we had a riff that we worked on, and within a day, we made it into a song.
Yeah, good.
So,
it takes
and
that,
he said, "Don't be surprised if, to me, this is the best one in the album."
Yeah.
So that happens.
Absolutely. That should happen.
Which is
So,
Warhorns.
Warhorns, yes.
Yes, well, whatever it takes. I mean, sometimes a little bit of reality kick is important to get some creative inspiration going on. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I mean, okay, old days, the bands worked a little bit more differently. You know, they went in the studio and banged out ideas and you know, wrote and recorded at the same time. Okay, that was on one side of luxury. Some people think that they were in studio for months, which is weird because it's not true. Bands like Van Halen went in for a couple of weeks, you know, and just banged. Okay, it's a different thing than Angra, totally, but they went in with nothing and came out with an album, you know, and they got a couple of hits if you remember, one or two. So we're not going to work like that. I mean, that's going a little bit too far, but leaving room to be at least experimental, you know, to try shit, because I think that's really the difference between having a solo project and having a band, is to just come up with crazy ass ideas. I always say this, trying shit is a lot quicker than discussing about why something is good or bad. Try it, it's done, we listen, yes, no, it's over, you know? I was in this situation myself, even with like Pink Cream. I remember distinctly just finishing up a song with Dave singing. We just got all the backings and everything's done, and we're like, you know, listening to it going, yeah, it's fine, it's all good, it's all fine. And Dave goes, yeah, you know, but if the chorus was a little bit more like, and he sang this weird idea, and I'm sitting there listening to him sing to it, I'm going, shit, that's way better. Fuck. Okay, so then he went back and we had to write new lyrics and come up with a whole new thing, and then scrapped everything, and then within, you know, one more day we just did the song again. And that was the difference, you know. It happens, there's nothing wrong with that, but leaving room to experiment is so essential compared to just going in the studio and looking at your watch saying, we got to fucking finish this, we're under pressure, we got to get it done. I mean, we got to watch the time too, so we got to be realistic about that. But if some weird ideas come up and we want to try it, let's definitely try it. You know, that's what makes the difference between, it separates the men from the boys. Put it like that, you know. And I don't want to criticize other people's production these days, but I got to say, what I am absolutely annoyed with modern productions are that everything sounds the fucking same to me. I mean, really everything. There's a lot of, if you just change the singer, you could change them between each other, and they all sound the fucking same to me. And it's like they don't even try, especially with arrangements. It's like every band I know is going to start with a riff, and it's going to go in the verse and bridge and chorus, and it'll break the riff and the verse, bridge, chorus. It's going to be either a vocal part or a solo part or the other way around, and then it's going to be a last chorus and the song's over. Okay, we made 3 minutes 40, whatever. Okay. Fine, that works if you're trying to get radio songs going on, you know. I think what's great about rock, metal, and progressive is that there are no rules to arrangements, 0 rules. It just has to work and sound good, and that's it. And if it's long and sounds good, that's fine. If it's short and sounds good, that's fine too. But spending time and just fucking about with the weirdest ideas, it's the only way to come to that, you know. Listen to everybody's ideas and try shit and say it again instead of discussing about it being good or bad. Just try it. It's the fastest way. Everybody will be happy, and you'll hear right away if it's going to work or not.
Yeah, you know, that's one of the reasons that I wasn't so keen on preparing a very complete demo.
Sure, I get it.
Because I don't want. I mean, I don't want to program a drum.
Yeah,
You know?
I know.
I don't want I want to leave room for the guys
Yes,
to be creative on arrangements.
I
So
understand.
it's rough ideas. Many times it's hard for the people to understand if it's a good idea.
Sure.
From my experience, the ones that I'm showing to the people, to my friends, to Felipe, you know,
Mhm.
are very nice on the sense of Angra's fan will like. I
Yes.
know I have
Okay.
this thermometer that people. I know what kind of idea they like. You know?
Okay. Cool.
So
I would-
it's just
I
now
would-
it's just a matter of getting everyone together and jamming
Yeah.
around those melodies and maybe adding stuff. And,
Yeah, working like a band. That's
yes.
very, very important.
Organic.
You'll be
And when we get together, we have great chemistry. We
That's
really do.
good.
You know, ideas come like, ooh,
You'll
know,
be
lots of.
surprised how few bands actually go to the practice room these days and do shit. It's sad. I know I don't want to point fingers at anybody, but I do know quite a few bands that actually just work out their demos, do little recordings, and meet in their private studios or whatever, and try to throw ideas around. And it's never the same. It's never the same because when you do that, there's always one guy that's basically in control of everything, and he's going to do what he wants at the end of the day, you know. And even worse is you get somebody, the songwriter, like programming drums down to the smallest hi-hat fill and expecting the drummer to do everything that he programmed because he thinks it's so fucking great.
I've been through that. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
it's obnoxious. I really hate that, you know, trying to program your drummer who doesn't do that kind of shit at all. Or even, you know, as a bass player, the same thing, you know, playing lines where you go, this, I would never play this. You know, never, ever, ever, ever play this kind of shit. I mean, like I said, with Gus, he's also open with that. He plays completely different to me and with a pick and shit. And I tell him, like, you know, that's really great what you're doing if you do it, but I would never ever do that. And I don't feel comfortable doing it. And he's like, yeah, okay, then do your thing. And that's important. But if you go to a practice room, listen to each other. I got this idea. Check this out. You do this, I do that. Hey, what are you doing right there? Oh, you're doing that? Okay, I'm going to try this. Can we try something now? Could we do this? That's the best way. There's no other way to get really, really mature music. There's no other way. And that's something that's also really annoying about modern music to me is I think sometimes modern music sounds extremely childish these days.
Yeah, me too.
Not the performance. Not
I
the performance.
agree. I totally agree.
It's just like we call it in German Kinderkacke. That means kids shit. You know, it's what it is. It's like no real attempt to be an individual, trying to be the band, trying to make a mark, trying to say this is our red line that we're trying to put through the record, and we want Angra or whatever band to have this sound. This is what we're looking for, and it gets forgotten a lot. And I think you can only do that by really sitting together like you guys are doing it. And yeah,
Jeremy. I remember during the recording of Rebirth, you as a bass player, I felt very comfortable with bringing ideas in my way of playing. But I remember distinctively one passage where you begged me to change what I was doing. And I remember the chorus of Hunters and Prey, because I was playing an open D string on the chorus. And you said, please no.
Please no. Yes,
please fret the damn thing.
Yes, please fret it. Yes, I'm still like that. I'm not a big fan of open. Every now and then, if you want to hold the long note, open sounds great. It's killer. But if you're doing like a riff or a part or a groove, the open string is for me always so it's taboo. Very, very.
I taboo. I didn't know that. I don't think I was present.
No, you weren't. But I gotta tell you, actually, I never forgot the first record. I mean, you were very young, like you said. Everything was the first time. I was always impressed with your bass playing since the first moment. It was just very, very impressive. Oh, where'd you go? Raphael just left. Okay.
No, I'm here.
Okay, but you're black.
Oh,
I don't see you. But I remember there was it might even been that song or another song, and I was like asked you, could you take it down a little bit Could you like be a little bit more fundamental, a little bit less wild? And you said, okay, and did it. And I was like, wow, that was it. That was a discussion. Because usually
You guys see me now?
yes, you're back to life. You're moving. Oh, back to the story. You actually said, okay, and you did it. And after it was done, I was like, how's that for you? And you're like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, oh God, this is way too easy. Shit. Because usually it would have been a discussion. It would have been a yeah, but, and because, and my style, and I remember one particular musician that's not in Angra anymore used the term, it's my trademark.
Yes, I remember exactly what you're talking about.
I would cringe when I hear that. I would literally go, "Ew. You've never been on a record, and that's a trademark. That's it's just not possible." And you did not do that. You were completely together about that. And when I said, here's a good place to you could let it rip. Well, you let it rip. You didn't care. You didn't hold back. That was pretty impressive. And I'm still into that shit, by the way. I like that. If there's room, go fucking nuts, man. Definitely.
Yeah, that's cool. I learned a lot. Really, like I said, I went in one bass player and came out a different one, much better, much more, I think, conscious of what I was playing,
Yes.
and my role in the band as well. Because it's easy for you to get very focused on the playing itself and how hard it is and how precise you want it to be, but lose maybe the perspective of where the bass sits within the band context. And you helped me a lot to understand that as well.
Great. I'm happy to hear that. That's kind of what it's all about for me. Trying to make sure that the band everybody finds their place in the band to make the unique sound, which is Angra, And I cannot stress that enough. Having identity is the difference these days. There are millions and millions of fucking bands, millions, and they all think they're great. Everybody thinks they're great. If they didn't think they're great, they wouldn't do it. And it's important that you think you're great too. But most of them are just clones of what they really like, which is fine to start off with. When I learned Smoke in the Water too. I played the shit I know and the shit I heard, obviously. But to develop, I realized when I got in a band working with a guy and he does this and that's his thing. And okay, how would he do that? And why does he do that? And what should I do when he does that? And putting it together like that, that made the identity. When I realized that anybody can cover a song, but what does it sound like if you cover it your way? That makes the complete identity. I mean, look at, we'll go back to Van Halen. I mean, they were the king of covers. All their covers sound like Van Halen. None of the covers sound like the original. None of them. I mean, it starts with Pretty Woman and goes to, Dancing in the Streets. I mean, it goes all the way around. That's only because they pay attention to each other and they have a respect between each other. And they want to have their identity, their sound, their Van Halen sound on every record, on every song. And they're very conscious of that. Very, very conscious. And I think we have to keep that in mind too. It's really, really important to, once again, to separate the boys from the men, because there's lots of boys out there.
Yeah, most of them are boys.
They all want your women. You got to show them, no, you're not going to get the man's woman. You can't do that. No, we're going to make this work. It's going to be fun and it's going to be a huge success. I know it. I feel it. And I'm ready to do some serious work and make this turn out really good. Really am.
Yeah, and we're looking forward just to have you around, man, because it's just always a lot of fun.
Looking forward to my cheese frango salad.
Cheese frango salad.
Yes, I'm looking very excited. And my black bean rice. Oh, I missed that. I missed that a bit. Yeah, I really did.
You came to Brazil for the second half of Rebirth, the pre-production and second half, and then we did all the instrumental part of Temple of Shadows in Brazil as well.
Right.
And then we did Aurora, drums in Germany, the rest in Brazil.
Right.
And we also, in the meantime, we did Hunters and Prey, whatever was left of it in Brazil as well. So you spent some real long time in Brazil.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to coming back. Really am. I really am.
And never really learned anything in Portuguese other than she's from
Yes, it's pathetic. It's really
He
sad.
was always stuck in the studio. It was never out.
Yeah. I just knew, where's the DI box?
Yeah.
Say, hey, can I have a MIDI cable? Remember the MIDI cable?
If,
You
if
remember
you
that?
found a girlfriend.
Shit. No thanks. I remember what studio was that? Hunters and Prey, that studio where it was like
Bebop. Yeah.
I never forgot that. That was one story I never forgot. There was one studio assistant that always smelled like weed, and he always looked like he was like out of his mind. And I remember we needed a MIDI cable. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, okay, yes, I remember that.
And we sent him off to find a MIDI cable. And he came back like a half an hour later with this, like it looked like the first MIDI cable that was ever made in the world. It was like the oldest MIDI cable I ever saw. He came back, his eyes were red, and he smelled like weed, but he had a cable. And I don't even think it worked. I think we had to go to a music store or something like that. I don't remember, but somehow we got another cable. And the same guy sent him off to get a DI box. And the same shit, he came back with this Behringer DI box. It smelled like weed. So we knew what he was really doing. I had to laugh about it because it was fucking hilarious. Because like, okay, we got our priorities, and I'm sure he likes working in the studio, but obviously he likes smoking weed a lot more than working. That's for sure.
I also remember one of the times you were in Brazil, we went to a club where there was a disco band playing, and they had an amazing bass player. Do you remember that?
Yes, I love disco, so yeah.
Yeah. His name was Zé Português. And
Right.
I remember we were watching him and in awe how great he was.
Yes. Well, I got to say, I saw quite a few bands, even with Kiko, like in little bars. I think I remember one bar where like the bar opened up, like where the bottles of booze were stuck behind the bartenders. It would open up and there was a fucking band, like a 3-piece band there. Yeah, it was the weirdest shit I ever saw. And then they would stop and it would close, and you're like, the hell's the weirdest shit. But the band was great. The musicians were great. And I got to admit, I mean, I've had a lot to do with other Brazilian artists too. And I got to say, you guys produce some serious musicians over there, because I've never been disappointed. It's always been top notch and always a treat to listen to. And yeah, I mean, you guys know yourself. It's definitely a place to grow up and learn music. It seems to have a lot of, how can I say it? You get support, you get taken seriously, put it like that, which is sometimes not the case in places like Germany, where if you say you want to be a professional musician, they go, oh shit, okay. Really? Okay. So
Well, here's the saying: it's very hard to be a musician here in Brazil.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's not easy, but you can do it, and people will take it halfway serious. It seems, you know.
Yeah,
Even
I mean,
hobby level, you know.
If you decide to be a musician, you got to be serious, because you got to work. I mean, twice as much as everyone else.
Yes. That's the way it is being a musician. That's the sacrifice. That's all part of it. But you know, for yourself, you've been doing it yourself for what now? 30 years, right?
Yeah. With the
And you want to start flipping hamburgers now?
no.
Nah, fuck that. It's still fun, isn't it?
oh yes.
Yeah, I mean, I got used to being a musician. I like it.
You wake up when you want
I'm
to
a
wake
little bit, I'm a little bit masochist.
I get it.
You know what? I think I came to a point in my career where the things that I'm doing now, they bring me way more joy than ever before. The people I'm working with these days and the things that I'm doing have been really fulfilling to me. And I think especially after 2 years of pandemic where we couldn't do it, and then you realize how important it is to you and how much you miss it. So I think everybody is in the mindset of just let's make the most out of it on stage and off stage.
Yeah, for me, it's the same thing as a musician and a producer. I just came back from tour 2 weeks ago. I just came back. I was away for 6 weeks. It was great. it was so satisfying. I got to admit, everything about it was just fucking fantastic. And the people were great. The fans were really, really thankful. And it's the same thing for me going to studio with you guys to actually be doing a real thing again. Because I work with Bill Hudson on his Northdale record. And because of the pandemic, we were doing shit online. I mean, my studio, with FaceTime, his drummer is doing this in Florida, and then the singers in Brazil, and I'm FaceTime listening and yelling and talking shit. And it worked, but it's just not the fucking same, And now I'm so thankful that we get to do this and that I can be there and hands-on and try shit and look directly and listen directly and don't worry about the lag, or am I going to have good internet today or not? It's I appreciate it more than ever now. And sometimes you need something like a pandemic to make you realize that what you had was pretty damn good to begin with, And
exactly.
Granted, I really did, and I will never take it for granted again, never again. But I understand what you're saying about being fulfilling. It's yeah, you got to really count your blessings, because not everybody gets a chance to have a career as long as you guys have. It's a blessing. It really is. I mean, to be pro for 30 years is, be proud of yourselves. Be very proud of yourself. Most people are just hobby bands forever.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, because many people have jobs and a normal life, and they get to do music every now and then, which is perfectly fine. And I'd rather do that than just struggle as a musician and get frustrated and just hate what you do.
Yeah.
Get a job, make your money, make your living out of it, and support your family, and then do music when you can.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you could just make music, that's even better, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, much better.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not flipping burgers tomorrow. I don't want to start. Hell no. Yeah. Having said that, I actually do kind of work. I work at the Hoffa College now, because Hoffa is more of a college than a studio these days. So they have, that's fucking brilliant. I'll take that with me. Yeah, I'll take it. Thank you. You can pack it up. Thank you.
Okay. That's going to be $15,000.
I'll send you my address. Oh, I'm broke. You can send it as a charity. I'll write your receipt. You can write it off of your taxes.
Okay.
So you're saying that you're teaching at Hoffa now?
Well, it's more. It's like a school. It's a college. It's a multimedia college. So I like make videos for the college on the online campus. Every now and then for YouTube. Not too much of that, because they always want to do these analysis videos, which are fine, where I listen to songs and make comments about, I don't know, technical shit. Or
yeah, I watched some of those. They're pretty great.
I do, but usually I'm just like explaining whatever, from Cubase to Pro Tools to setting up a mic or all kinds of shit, And I do that every now and then. I've been doing a lot less lately because I don't really enjoy as much as I do making music, because it's still a job, It's not like grab a guitar and a beer and do what the fuck you want to do. Wake up whenever I want to wake up. I gotta go there in the morning and be on time and all that shit.
Like a normal dude.
Yeah, fuck that. Oh
man. I see that your artist side is burning much stronger now than before.
It will never change. That will never change.
That's cool. Actually,
when I do a production, we set times, and we show up, but no one makes rock and roll before 11 o'clock. Nobody. It's just no fucking point, really. Everybody shows up first, 16 coffees, and then let's get started. It's like, well, we just could have done that at home and come an hour later. Fuck this, I don't want to start too early, but I do want to have a good night's sleep. That's important. I like to have like at least 2 hours or even 3 hours after I wake up before I actually start working, Because
I like it too.
Mindset for this,
Me too.
I can't see how people can wake up and open their eyes and go to their jobs and type shit out or whatever. You're not into it. You're not really aware of what you're doing. And I get way more done by having good sleep, taking a couple hours to do whatever I got to do, write emails or whatever, and then go to the studio and do some work. You know, that seems to work for me, and that's only because I'm a freelance musician, producer, whatever. And if you had a job, you wouldn't be doing that. You couldn't tell your boss, I'm coming in at 2 tomorrow because, you know, don't feel like it. He'll say, you don't have to come tomorrow at all. As a matter of fact, you don't have to ever come again.
Well,
yeah, very good.
What are your playlists? I mean, the things that you like to listen nowadays. Is it the same shit from always, or you got new favorites?
I got some weird shit going on, to be honest. I mean, I still love I'm still a Rush fan from hell. I love my Rush and things like Van Halen we talked about too. I fell back in love with Pink Floyd. That was weird. I fell back in love with that. And I'm like, because it's a weird story. About 3-4 years ago, you know, Oliver Hartman, he plays guitar for Avantasia. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He's got a Pink Floyd cover band called Echoes. They're very successful over here. Very successful. And he asked me to mix their DVD, which I did. And mixing it, they play really well too. And when I was done, I was like, Jesus Christ, there's so many good songs. It's really great stuff. And so I started getting back and, you know, buying everything again and listening to it back to back, because you can't listen to a song, Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
You gotta have the experience and go through it. So I listened to the whole thing going, yeah, this shit is really, really good. And it was done so long ago, and it's so clever. Some of the shit is so goddamn clever. It's not difficult, but it's just like how shit goes in and out, and the arrangements, and it's the picture they're painting. Brilliant stuff. And having said that, I got some other weird shit that I like to listen to, is like bluegrass. American, but actually not only bluegrass, but specifically a band that was called a Mandolin Orange, that for some reason changed their name to Watch House for whatever reason. And it's just a guy and his wife, and they have a band sometimes they play as a duo, sometimes they have a band with them. But the guy, the main singer-songwriter, they both sing. But he plays mainly a mandolin. He plays guitar as well, and banjo too sometimes. But he shreds on this fucking man. He shreds. I had no idea that you could shred on a mandolin, but he shreds. And the songs are brilliant.
You're from Alabama, right?
Yeah. I when I was a kid, I went and watched real bluegrass, so it was nothing new to me. But they don't do this typical bluegrass. It's very vibey. It's got lots of atmosphere, and they do lots of shit with instruments like.
Say the name again. It used to be Mandolin Orange.
You can actually find it on YouTube. Mandolin Orange, like Mandolin Orange.
We have a guy in Brazil called Hamilton de Holanda. He's a fucking beast on mandolin.
Yeah.
Of course, the mandolin we play in Brazil is a little different from the mandolin of bluegrass. Yeah. Kind of a similar instrument, but not the same.
But it's
I mean, his main thing is choro. It's a Brazilian thing, not a bluegrass, obviously.
But it's so amazing the way that the way that you can phrase notes on a mandolin. It's you know, you can keep it very platonic, but he does this certain phrasing it's weird. It's like the guitar player will play something, and then he'll be like supporting him and coming in and out with his support, and it's always movement. He never stops, but his dynamic is coming and going, and it supports either the vocals or the guitar or the drum. It's just amazing. And then when he has to shred, you know, and he's just got one mic. He's not like, you know, there's no overdubs and shit like this. Him, one guitar, one instrument, and he has so much control over it, and he's controlling the whole dynamic of the song. And then he goes into this solo part where you're like, Jesus Christ, I didn't know you could do that. I had no idea. So I'm a big fan of them. Very, very vibey music. It's almost like bluegrass Pink Floyd. Okay. Really.
It's a Blue Floyd, not a Pink Floyd, but a Blue Floyd.
It's a Blue Floyd. It's a bluegrass Floyd. Yes. But if you get a chance to listen to it, I really, really like it. It's he's got a great voice too. If you like that kind of music, he's got a great voice. Other things I listen to, well, my daughter, it's got me kind of not hooked on, but I listened to a lot of this. It's called Vocaloid, Japanese Vocaloid music.
I heard of them.
Okay, Vocaloid is a software like Cubase or something like it, like a MIDI software.
Okay.
And you can buy, or they have voices that you can also purchase, voices of like people. They're machines, but they have names and they sound like a boy or girl. It's weird. It's really weird. And you can type in words, and like MIDI, you know, on a scroll bar, you can write the notes and bend and all kinds of, it's fucking crazy. And she was into this, and I bought her the software, and she sings herself too. And she made duets with like this robots, you know, and it's like kind of a pop music, but a lot of distorted guitar, and the music is always really fast, like always up tempo, always upbeat as hell. And the first time I listened, I was like, what the fuck is this weird shit? And it's always in Japanese, and you're thinking strange. But the more I listened to them, I was like, wow, there's some clever shit going on in there. Some really great progressive stuff, and the shredding too. They're like got great licks going on. The drummer is doing completely untypical stuff. It's never just like bash boom, bash boom. It's always like very thought out, very, very thought out to the detail. I'm sure it's programmed. It's probably nobody playing at all, but still. Vocaloid is the software. And if you go to YouTube and look at like Vocaloid, what do they call it? Vocaloid performances or Vocaloid recordings or something like that. You see there's a fan base. There's a huge global fan base where everybody records their own songs over supplied playbacks. You can get the playbacks anywhere online. They cost nothing. And these people make their own songs out of it. It's crazy. And they have some like pop stars over there. They don't exist. They're robots. They're not real. You know, it's fucking crazy.
That's
and
cool.
There's one or two.
How old is your daughter now?
She's going to be 18 in 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember she was a baby.
Yeah. No, my son is going to turn 13 next week, my youngest, and he's bigger than me already. He's a big guy. I always have to laugh when people, you know, come in and say, you know, that's your son? You know, so, yeah, of course. He doesn't have a beard. But they're like, how old is he? 16? I was like, no, he's 12. It's like, it's not possible, because he's a big fuck. He's not very musical. He doesn't like music so much for some reason. My daughter loves it. She's got a great voice. She's got her own YouTube channel, and she's doing this Japanese Vocaloid music. And well, she's doing a lot less these days because she got school. She's got to finish up school this year, so no time for that shit. But yeah, she's a big girl now, all grown up. Doesn't need that. Sorry?
How old is your daughter now?
She'll be 18 in 3 weeks. My second daughter, my oldest daughter, is 26, and I'm a grandfather for 4 years now.
Oh, congratulations!
Congratulations!
That must be quite a vibe.
It's weird.
Be a granddad.
It's weird, you know. We talk like once a week on Skype, because they live in Alabama. And the last 2 years, like, I wanted to go back, and then, you know, I don't have to tell you, all my plans got ruined because of the pandemic. Yeah. So I haven't even seen her yet, but I'm hoping things are going to go well, and maybe end of this year, the very end, Christmas time, that I might be able to get over. And that would be fucking great. Yeah, I've a lot has happened in the last 20 years.
Yes. Yeah, I have 2 kids now, 2 boys.
I know. I saw all the pictures. They look great. They look wonderful. It's great being a dad, ain't it?
Oh,
you know, yeah. About being a parent is, the very best thing is they grow up and move out. That's fucking great. No, kids are great. Love them to death, and I love it even more when they become independent. That's so good.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. My kids is now very independent, and it's such a relief.
Yes.
For our mind and worries.
Yes. You don't have to think about the shit. That's the worries is a good word, because I think when the kids are between 1 and 6, 7, it's constant worry. It's constant. Oh, is everything okay? Yes. Are they doing it right? Are they going to be good? Is everything fine with them at school? Is anything going wrong? Think. Yeah. Pointless thinking, completely pointless. And then they prove to you at a very when it was 2 years ago, right before the pandemic, my car broke down, right? And we had to go somewhere, me and my son. I was like, ah, shit, what am I gonna do? Maybe I can borrow a car from my friend. My son was like, well, let's just take the bus. I was like, bus? Fuck, bus. All right. I don't know what a bus is. Yeah, it's no problem. We just go here and here and there and there. And so my son showed me how to, to check the bus schedule and how to get from here to there. And he led me around and everything. And he was all proud of himself because I have no idea. I still don't really know. If I had to go anywhere, I have to call my son because I don't know. So, that's how independent he was. And by 11, he was already, going into town by himself and doing shit. He just going to town because he wanted to go to a restaurant he liked. How decadent is that?
That's nice.
Yeah, that wasn't me. 11 years old, I was just throwing frogs, or I don't know. I was not doing that.
You're living in Bruxelles? No.
I'm
Where
still
do you
living very close. Yeah, Karlsdorf. I actually live like 1 kilometer from Hofa.
Okay.
Like down the road.
And
right
is it still like a ghost town?
No, actually, this place is blown up because you know what happened? It's so many houses here. There's a huge company called SEW, and they make electric motors or something like that for all kinds of like industrial purposes. And it's big. I mean, really big. It's like a stadium-size company. And of course, they brought in a lot of workers. Workers need places to live. And all of a sudden, this place just blew up. And property value since 2005 has gone up 100%.
Fuck.
Yes. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I also remember right in front of the studio, there was a club, a Croatian club, was it?
Yes, I remember that too. I've been there a couple of times.
It's gone. It's now a casino. It's a casino.
It felt a little dangerous when I
because people were so fucking big when we got there.
They
It felt
didn't
like
want,
dwarfs.
I mean, they didn't want anyone else other than Croatian people in there. So it was.
Yeah. It was a weird. I never understood that. I think there was something weird going on there because they lasted like, I don't know, like 2 years or less, not even. And all of a sudden they were all out and gone. I think it was probably like, I don't know, something illegal was going on.
Illegal.
Definitely something illegal was going on there. It was a very, very weird deal. Very, very weird. Now, all that shit's gone. All that crap's gone. The only thing that's still here is the McDonald's is still there.
The same one?
The same one. And actually we've got a new one as well. They've got a lot more shopping areas here since you've been here. And inside Bruxelles, well, everything's like new. It's
Bruxelles is bigger than Karlsdorf, right?
Oh yes, much bigger. And now it's even bigger. Now it's like I said, because of this company, and the company is literally right between Karlsdorf and Bruxelles, right in between. Mm-hmm. And this whole area is just housing everywhere. I mean, like literally all this open land that used to be here is just houses now. It's really surreal, really surreal. Especially if you live here as long as I have. It's like weird to look at when you think, I used to walk my dog over there and there was nothing, not even a cow, nothing. It was just houses.
I remember when you got us 2 bicycles.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that was a great idea because, I mean, made a lot of a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being able to ride the bikes around the woods. And
yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of bicycle, I just bought a bicycle 2 days ago. I went and bought one of these e-bikes. You know these things?
Okay.
Yeah, one of these like. Yeah,
it does the work for you.
Okay. It's electric.
Yeah, it's fucking great. I can get like 80 kilometers in one load. That's pretty amazing.
That's cool.
And you get on the thing and it's just like you just push it. It just goes. It's fucking great. This is something that if you get over here, you got to take this thing for a spin, and it's crazy. You go out in the woods and you're realizing like, fuck, I'm just not even breaking a sweat. It's amazing.
I remember one time we went with you. I think you took us to that Brazilian pizza place.
Oh yeah, the Brazil, yeah.
Yeah, and you took us in your car, and you had a Fiat Tempra, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I remember you were driving the fastest you could, and still the car is in the autobahn going like woo, way faster.
Yeah.
And your car was like almost shaking from all the speed, and these other cars were just flying by.
That car is a piece of shit. I don't miss that car at all. That car, I remember the car died when I was working with you guys, actually. It was in Brazil working, and my ex had who that?
What?
Somebody said something?
Someone said something, but I don't know who it was.
Okay. That was weird. No, that car, my ex-girlfriend, she took it to the shop because something was wrong, and they fixed it, but then they gave her the car back and forgot to put the oil cap back on, right?
Oh, genius.
And she drove like 8 kilometers and the motor blew up.
Ah,
Yeah. Actually, I was kind of happy about it because I hated that car. So fuck that car.
do you have any insurance?
Well, actually, the insurance wouldn't cover that. They tried to make trouble saying that she took it off herself. She was 8 months pregnant at the time, and I was like, she doesn't even know how to open the hood, you know. And the guy that picked her up, or the car company, the we call the garage, that towed the car away, they confirmed that it was definitely because there was no oil cap on it. And they would not admit that they fucked up, you know. But then I threatened them a little bit, and so they agreed to take care of the car and all the transport costs. And of course, they didn't have to pay to get it fixed. And then I got a very small amount for the car, but it was not worth it. But like I said, I hated that car anyway. So
Okay.
I
remember you brought one of your girlfriends. I mean,
yeah, that was the one. That was the one.
Yeah, was the one. And once you took us to a Mexican place too.
Yeah, that's still there.
That was when we met.
Yes. Yes. That's still there. It's still there, actually. And it's very good. Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah. Funny thing about girls, all my last 3 cars have been ruined by girls. All of them. Funny. But on one side, it was a good thing because my last one, it was a Skoda. I had a Skoda Octavia, and my girlfriend got in an accident, and she actually had partial fault, but the other people tried to sue us, but they lost, and they had to pay 100%. And so I got a brand new, nice car. It was actually really cool.
Cool. Good deal.
She can go borrow my car anytime and just fucking find someone to drive into it. That's fine for me.
Cool. We can still find Grünland.
Yes.
I miss that so much.
And noise apple juice.
Yeah.
Noise apple juice.
Yes.
Is it still there?
Yeah, of course. It's all still here, man. Well, you guys ever come back on tour? I mean, what do you guys got planned for touring?
Next year,
I mean, after the record is released, which should be somewhere between April, May.
Yeah.
Then we will surely do a European run, and hopefully go close to Bruxelles.
Yeah, at least somewhere like even France is fine. It's not that far from here either, you know.
Yeah, I remember you went see us at the Rim Fest.
Yeah, at the open air. Yeah. That was a funny show too. I remember somebody was in a real bad mood. So one person that.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember, huh? He was in a really bad mood. Something, I don't know what it was, but he was in a shitty mood for some reason. Yeah, but that was actually a kind of neat show. I remember that very well, actually. Yeah, it'd be great if you guys got back. I'd love to see you guys play again. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Well, how are things in Brazil? I mean, you guys have most of your fan base in Brazil now, or is it still going on in Japan?
Oh, Japan, still strong.
Yeah. Still strong in Japan? Great. That's great. Yeah.
Brazil still means a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different kind of fan here in Brazil.
Yeah, right.
Because of the fact of us being Brazilians and like representing metal around the world, you know.
Absolutely.
There is this sense of being proud.
Absolutely.
And about the band, it's a bit different than everyone else.
Yeah, sure.
Also, we communicate a lot in Portuguese.
Yeah, they're also,
Yeah. That's a big help too. Awesome. Well, now you can let everybody know that you're going to be recording in Brazil too. Keep it true.
Yes. Like Temple of Shadows. We did it all here.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, we did.
Except for the vocals as well.
Except for the
of course.
vocals. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was yes. Yeah, that worked
Anyways,
out.
man, it was great to have you here in the channel. We're very thrilled to be working with you again. I can't wait to welcome you back to Angra's world.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
you're already in Angra's world in a way, but welcoming you back to Brazil and doing some work together. I really look forward to your input and contribution to the music, which is always fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to have a great time.
I'm looking real forward to it too. You guys, thanks for having me here tonight, and look forward to hearing the music you guys are gonna make very soon. Give the other guys my regards. You know, if you need anything from me, let me know. And to all your fans out there, look forward to this album. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think you got something to look forward to, really.
But wait on a second, guys. We have 3 questions. What about the stream? Okay.
All right. My favorite color is blue. And
Junior, yeah. Okay. So
I saw you interview mentioning you don't want to go too far prog into us now. Angra's more prog. How do you see this? I cheer for more prog. Okay, that was a completely misunderstanding. I never said I don't want to go too prog. What I said was that when we did this, was after Temple of Shadows, and we did Aurora. I said we're going really proggy, far away. And I didn't know if that was the right way to go that far proggy. Okay. At that time, I never said, because I was always aware that Angra is basically a prog band. I said too much. And I don't care if it's too much or too little. I just want the songs to be right, because it's a different era. It's a different thing now, and it's a different band as well. Yeah. So that doesn't matter. The songs have to work, and they have to fit together, and the record has to be one red line, you know, gelled together. And other than that, nothing else matters.
Cool.
Yeah.
We have another one.
Okay.
Do you have another one?
All right. What's the correct order of the TOS songs?
Lyrically.
How the hell would I know?
Well, Lucas Goose, thank you for your question, but the correct order is the exact order that you see in the record, you know? We didn't want to go chronologically. So we thought it was cooler to not to go chronological. But if you want to know more about the lyrics and the story itself, there is a comic book now with the Temple of Shadows story. And you can go to esteticatorta.com.br and get yourself a copy of it.
Awesome. Very good.
Next question. Quais as novidades com o produtor Denis de 2022 trará para o novo álbum do Angra? Teremos alguma novidade ou teremos abordagem mais conservadora? Well, he's basically asking what the 2022 Dennis is going to bring new to the new record, if you're going to experiment more or if you're going to be more conservative in your approach to the music and to the sound.
I'm going to be both. I'm going to be conservative when it's necessary, and I'm going to be experimental when it's necessary. That's it's an impossible question to answer, because all a producer is supposed to do is to react to the moment when it's time to react. And I can't say, I want you to make this isn't the 80s anymore, right? We're not trying to fit a genre. We're not trying to fit a mainstream of something that's happening. It doesn't matter. Those days are over. It just has to be a good record. You guys should sound like you guys. It shouldn't sound like an imposter. It shouldn't sound like something strange going on, or let's say there's a stranger in the music, we'd say over here. You know, there shouldn't be any weird stuff like that. And other than that, there are literally no rules. No rules.
Cool. I have a question for you, Dennis.
Right.
How do you see those works that we've done together? Right. And is there any change on your process, on your method? Is there something that you've learned to be different?
There is now, especially because of when it comes to the technology side of thing. Before I was very, I had a set plan about how we recorded things, when, what, where. Now, for example, in the recording process, once we have drums down, and we'll have pilots, I'm sure, for everything, basic pilots. I don't care what we record at what time. We could do a bass one day or 1 hour, and the next hour do a guitar, and then write the vocals. And I don't care. That's completely changed for me.
Nice.
And as a matter of fact, sometimes I actually find it, especially being a bass player, to be sure that nobody's stepping on each other's feet, is to do guitars, basic guitars before we hit the bass. So we can really.
That's what I do. I like it better. Yeah.
Yeah. That turns out to be a really good idea these days. Works out very fine. In some cases, I've even actually recorded drums again or at the end because the drummer got to hear the big picture, right? There's a negative side to that too, because when you do that, it's sometimes when the drummer does the little things that you wouldn't expect, you just follow up on it, and it makes great, neat, interesting ideas. So that's the big plus, and I find that to usually be the better way, right? However, I have had the experience when I realized later, after the fact, could do the drums at the end, and the drummer would have the big picture, and he would know exactly where to be careful and what he should play, when he shouldn't, stuff like that. That's a little bit different for me now in the sense of that we have the possibility to do that. The other thing that's different is I use a lot of tracks. Sky's the fucking limit now, man. No rules, no rules. I mean, literally, hard drives cost $50. The tracks are, who cares? If I need 6 tracks for bass, I'm gonna use 6 tracks for bass. I don't care. I really don't care. That's probably the biggest difference, is that I don't have to worry about simple stuff. A lot of stuff I still do, like I always did. I try to, get sound going, on track. I still like to have not necessarily the pre-production, but a clear discussion about how the arrangements are going to go, and what we're looking for in the overall record. To be conscious going into the studio that this is our goal. I still want to do that, because I think it's a good idea to keep everybody focused on the same thing. But other than that, I still do this stuff the way I always have done. That's combining experience with a little bit of gut feeling, and it's just being not afraid to try shit out, and not afraid to change my opinion the last second, even if I felt strongly about it. But other than that, nothing's really changed for me. Nothing at all.
That's cool.
That's nice.
All
And
right.
do you have any criticisms on your previous works? On the way
Right. Every time. Every record. I have never done a record that I was completely happy with. Ever. And it will never be that way. I mean, it will never be different. It's just the way it is. And that's kind of the thing that keeps me going, is to know that, okay, that was fine, but I could have done this. And I've learned a couple of things over the last couple of years too. So I'm looking forward to showing you guys. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. I can guarantee you this. Guarantee you.
Well, so I'm very excited to be working with you again. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Coming up. I don't know what time is it now there in Germany.
It is 1:21 in the morning.
1:21. So thanks for
I'm
staying
going to
late
bed.
to talk to us.
All right, guys. Have a
Thanks,
good night.
man. Good to see you.
See you real soon. We'll talk,
soon.
all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Take care.
guys.